One cave, 100 rockets to raid. Like Mr. Flaks' unraidable cave base, at a fraction of the cost. 5k metal frags and 91 high qual to build. 900 frags and 4 high qual to upkeep. And it looks like a roleplayer base. The bucket, guarded by turrets. Until you run out of bullets, no one enters from this direction. The entrance is blocked. But how is a single armored foundation going to hold off more than 100 rockets? Yes, this single block of foundation steps just absorbed an insane amount of rockets, and in theory it can be infinitely strong. It uses an exploit called socket stacking that was in parallel discovered by ThaUnknown and Lord Desert. It allows to combine an infinite amount of foundation steps into a single 1x1. Here we're using the method of ThaUnknown. He's part of the team that manages the intoxicated build servers. You can find him in a Discord. This is how it works. Place a low foundation facing a slight slope. Add 2 foundation steps, one low, one raised. Walk onto the first foundation steps and place another through the gaps. Then upgrade the first foundations. Then upgrade the raised ones. Both need to be upgraded to sheet metal. Now you can place additional twig foundation steps into the first. Destroy the foundation steps below the raised one. And now you can place another set of steps into the raised ones as well. For the game, you're at the same state as when there were just 2 foundation steps. To add a theoretically infinite number of foundation steps, enter the following loop. Twig low, upgrade first, upgrade raised, twig first, destroy low, twig raised. You will need 200 metal fragments and 75 wood per cycle. Once upgraded, each cycle grants an extra 15 rockets worth of protection. To cross the 100 rocket threshold, repeat those steps 7 times. Unfortunately, the process is not totally reliable. Once in a while, you might not be able to place the lower foundation. If the message reads "placing through wall", no worries. This just means you need to find a better placement angle or already upgrade the lower foundation to sheet metal. However, if the message reads "target socket occupied", the magic is broken. I haven't found a way to fix that issue yet. And it happened even though I followed the build steps to the point. In that case, decide whether you are satisfied with the level of protection or destroy all foundation steps and start over from scratch. Once you're done, upgrade the raised foundations to armored. You can reach all of them from the head. And no, they don't take splash damage. Just one randomly chosen foundation seems to take damage. This means it will cost a lot of rockets to destroy any one of them, let alone all of them. So let's use this to build the cheapest, most spacious and most roleplayer cave base ever seen. This works best with the small cave from Mr. Flaks' improved unraidable cave base. This is the one with a single small build zone where the bucket is visible from the rear entrance. His ingenious idea was: block off the main entrance so that a raid through the front door becomes prohibitively expensive. Exit and enter the cave through the bucket elevator. When you're back from farming, jump down. Your avatar will most likely die. However, since this is your base, just respawn, pick up the items and you're good. But how to locate this cave? Press F1 to open the console. Type world.monuments. Look for cave small easy prefab. Type print pause to see your own position. The first number is east-west. It gets larger if you move to the east, that is right on the map. The last number is north-south. It gets larger if you move north, that is up on the map. Thus, to reach this cave, we should move east. This is how it looks like on the inside. A small build zone with 2 exits, one looking at the bucket elevator. Once you've found the cave, your first task will be to ensure that we can eventually seal the entrance. It took me a while to find a way to somewhat reliably place the foundations, so I strongly suggest to follow my steps as closely as possible. And be prepared for a bit of frustration. Step into the campfire in the middle of the cave. Look directly at the entrance. Now walk forward with the square foundation ready to place. Bring it up as high as you can until you see parts of it disappearing in the ceiling of the entrance tunnel. Watch closely how the tunnel ceiling sticks through the foundation. I waited until those 2 blobs are left to place it. At the same time, make sure that the forward right leg is still inside the build zone. Next, we need to verify that the socket stacking will be possible. Place foundation steps in front of the raised foundation, then destroy it. Verify that you can place both raised and lowered foundation steps. If that does not work, destroy all foundations and start over. Don't give up too early, this is not easy. Once that is done, place a square foundation in front of the foundation steps and upgrade it. Going out from that foundation, you should be able to build the following footprint. The center is 4 triangles built out from the upgraded foundation, and square foundations on each side. Fill in the rest as it fits. This is how the footprint should look like. The next important step will be to claim the cave by throwing down a TC. Here I am using the rear corner and close it off with 3 doors. For now, do not hesitate to put down temporary doorways at the entrance. You can easily soft side pick them when you continue with the build. Next, we use socket stacking to close off the entrance. Before you begin, make sure that you have sleeping bags, or better beds, down here, as your only way to enter the cave will be by jumping down into the bucket room. The build steps are the same as before. For a 100 rocket cave, you want at least 7 foundations stacked. Each build step costs 200 frags and 75 wood. Each upgrade is 13 high qual. Thus, the step will consume a minimum of 525 wood, 1400 frags and 91 high qual. Not too bad for protection from 105 rockets from this entrance. However, I'd recommend to have a lot more material handy in case you make mistakes. I'm not sure if my intuition is misleading, but I had the impression that I ran into less trouble the lower I stayed on the foundations. Once you stacked the desired number of foundations, start upgrading the outer ones to armored. Since you cannot reach the head of the foundation steps, you will only be able to upgrade 1 to armored at this time. Destroy all the lowered foundations, then you can upgrade the remaining ones as well. Seems I stacked 9 foundations here. Then replace the foundation in front of the stacked foundations. The rear entrance remains the weak point. While raiders who jump down the chute are likely to die, there is a chance of about 10 to 20% that they will get back up again. The way Mr. Flaks solved this issue is by placing auto turrets guarding the bucket. They target raiders already while they're still downed, so there's no chance to evade them. However, this design still has a weakness. Redskye showed me that raiders can destroy the turrets by throwing down tons of F1 grenades into the cave entrance. Once the turrets break, the raid is just a few rockets. But don't worry, we found a workaround for that as well. We use these squares and triangles around the exit for a fortified entrance. The exit is marked with a low wall, which acts as blast shield. The main turrets will sit on two raised triangles in the back where the blast of the grenades won't reach them. If you want, you can even leave a third turret behind the low wall. It won't get damaged by the grenade blasts either, but it has trouble shooting at raiders who are crouching. We also tested incendiary rockets fired from the bucket, but several of those suicide runs would be necessary to take out all turrets, and it requires that somebody's sending up the elevator. Now just make sure that the turrets are always loaded with as many stacks of ammo as possible. At this point, the base is secure and you can use the rest however you like. Since both entrances are exceptionally strong, why not have a little fun with a super secure role-player base while it lasts? I'm pretty sure Facepunch will patch this soon, so don't hesitate for too long. Until then, Evil Wurst, out.